Salesforce CTO at Capgemini. In the past few years, I have helped many companies in the digital transformations, particularly in the field of customer relationship management. I'm very happy to be here today to talk about digital customer experience management and what a strategy for 2021 could look like. So, starting with some obvious information, the past 12 to 24 months were particularly challenging. We are now experiencing a recovery in the market where a lot of companies are trying to or looking forward to get back to growth that is sustainable and predictable growth, of course. As we look to the future, we have the option now to either go back to what we used to do, the way we used to sell products, the way we used to deliver our different services, or we can take this opportunity and reimagine how the future of our companies would look like. How can we take advantage of all what we have learned in the past 12 or 24 months and apply it in our future orgs? To do that, you should be willing to disrupt yourself and your businesses. Digitizations during the past years, not only the 12 or 24 months, but during, like a whole set of years, proved it can bring huge value to businesses who are willing to do so, who are willing to disrupt themselves, to challenge themselves, and, like rethink how they want to do business. We shouldn't be thinking about how we can keep the lights on, how we can keep the lights on in a more efficient way. What we should be thinking of is how can we design our future strategy and how much of that is going to include innovations and how much of that is going to be spent on innovations that would actually bring difference and would eventually lead or drive business growth the way we like it to happen. After all, we are all looking for sustainable growth, predictable, measurable, growth that utilizes technology to the max. Utilize technology, as best in the best possible way. Now, we have all heard the word customer centric, and we have all, like heard some terminologies exchange around about, digital customer experience, being customer centric, deliver that 360 view. But what does it actually mean? How can we become customer centric? Before answering this question, I would like to take a small step back and give you an idea of the value of customer relationships in today's world. We are now in a world where customers are more likely to remember the experience they had with the brand more than the price they paid to get, like services or products from that brand. And I know that sounds, interesting, but think of it, think of the experience that you had recently with a particular brand. Take a tourism, for example. You decided to book a fancy vacation in a nice sunny place. You decided to choose, a particular agency with great reputation, and they're considered, like a premium agency. You paid a significant chunk of money, but the overall experience didn't live up to your expectations. Wasn't something special. It was fine, kind of fine, but it wasn't something special. And at some stage, you felt that you probably have paid more than what you should have. You didn't feel that you got the most out of your investment. Next year, you decided to go again on another tourism, and you have chosen a different agency this time. Again, an agency with great reputation and perhaps it can be considered a competitor for a competitor for the previous agency. They charge nearly the same figure, the same amount of money, but they made you feel special during your engagement with them. So, for example, they remembered that you had a special day during your visits with them or your tour with them. They remembered, for example, that you have your birthday is now, and they made a special arrangement for that, your birthday arrangement, anniversary, whatever. They made it, a special day for you. That kind of, gave you the impression that they care. They know about you and they are trying their best to please you. They remembered perhaps your favorite food, your favorite restaurant, and they created a program or they made some sort of arrangement where you can visit a restaurant that offers that kind of cuisine or that kind of food. Again, that all resonated well with you because they care. They're trying to, show you that they care and that they're trying to please you. Um, they kept you aware with everything that is happening or going to be happen while you're doing your trip with them. They kept you informed in real time with messages, with emails, with SMSs via mobile phone perhaps, or via mobile application. Sorry. So they kept you engaged and they kept you well informed with real time kind of communications tailored for you specifically. They even sent you a list of cool activities and cool places to visit while you are in that particular location or that particular country, based on your hobbies, based on your preferences, based on some additional information that they managed to get from you, about you. So that all, like gave you the impression that, they care. That all made the entire experience special for you. You felt that what you paid was, equal to what the value that you have received, or perhaps you have received more value than what you have paid. You feel that there's a great value, return of, like value for money for what you have invested in. It is very likely that on the third year, whenever you want to do another tourism, you're going to pick that agency over the first. Again, you might even accept a slightly more pricey or more premium cost for their services, but it's all fine for you because that highly looked after experience is what matters most for you. So we are now in a world where the experience itself is now a product. It's itself considered a product. It's now, not in the future, where the experience has become in parity with your products and the services you sell. Customers are making decisions based on their experience with your product, with your website, with your portal, with your mobile application, with your social channels, with and more and more, and with obviously with physical presence if you have like physical presence in store, etc., etc. And they are making their decisions to work with you again or not based on the experience that they're having with you across all of these channels. It's not enough today to just provide, that service to just, provide them with a simple form of service. You have to connect with them. You have to, them, and you have to learn how the past 12 to 24 months have changed their perspective of the services, how they are now, what is their expectations for today, what they're expecting from companies today after these, 12, 24 months, which obviously has brought a lot of change to the market, and we're gonna see that in the next slide. So we need to understand what has changed, how their experience expectations prior to the pandemic and today changed or different? Do they feel that they want to do more digital service with you? Perhaps they want to do everything digital with you. Are you making sure that you are able to do that? Have you, taken advantage of the technological of the technology and the technological advances that we have today in order to fulfill their experiences? Let's have a look at some interesting figures. So on this slide, you can see some of these interesting figures. So 63 of customers, in this is a recent survey, 63 of customers said the way they obtain goods and services transformed during 2020. They are now using different channels. They're using different ways to get their goods, perhaps buying online, perhaps, like it is different. The way they get their goods and the way they buy products and services is now different for 63% of them. For 57% said the same about the way they engage with companies. Think about it, is it like, physical engagement? Now that we all had to do remote engagement, things are changing. The companies who have, a better presence on the digital channels, wherever that channel is, perhaps on all the channels, social, website, portal, that kind of thing, they had a better chance to communicate with customers, to engage with customers, to stay close to customers, and to make them feel that kind of special. They also managed to get that penetration into the market, into some specific customers. 62% said this year changed, or this year or 24 months, said it changed how they conduct their lives offline, and an equal percentage said it changed their online lives. It even impacted that. We all have experienced this. The people are thinking differently, are acting differently. What has been thought before as things that can't be done, eventually, because of the lockdown and because of the restrictions, people started to find out that, well, actually it can be done this way. I can now, like, buy clothes online. Previously, it was, like, anticipated by many that, now I prefer to go to a physical store and try things on. But, like, after this experience, their perspective has changed. They tried it and they liked it, and they now want to do it more and more of it. Um, Interestingly, also, we know that 86% of these buyers said that they will pay more for great customer experience. This is a very interesting message. 86 of the buyers said they are willing to pay more just because they are getting that, like, special treatment, and they are getting that great customer experience. Again, remember what we said earlier is that, customer experience is now on parity with the product itself. It is itself a product. Customers also feeling that companies and organizations should have done some transformation, should have, been doing these kind of transformations during the past 12 or 24 months. And companies who don't make investments in these kind of transformations are, kind of shows apathy towards their customers. They're getting that feeling that, if our provider, or the company we used to work with, doesn't make investments in digital, doesn't make investments in delivering these services for us, while their competitors does, while their competitors do, apologies, then, it's kind of showing that the company itself perhaps doesn't care about us. This is a very, like, interesting and challenging message. And again, this is their opinion. It's not mine. Uh, Many companies are actually using that customer experience as a competitive edge to win, like, specific sections of the market, on top of product and price. So again, if the others are doing it and you're not doing it, you're gonna be on, like, ending up with the short straw a little bit. Customers will eventually, move on to the other end, because, they see something changing over there. They see something more interesting from customer perspective, from customer experience perspective, while things are pretty much, done the same old way on this side. Again, if you don't have that compelling customer experience, then your customers may or may not make the decision to buy again from you. So when you think about a great customer experience, um, you need to think about these six different categories, or these six key pillars. You need to engage in real time with your customers. You need to engage and become more proactive during your engagements with your customers. When you engage with them, you need to make that engagement truly personalized. You need to speak with them as persons that you know and that you have a great experience with. You have to personalize your message, and you need to show them that you care. You need, in order to do that, you're going to need, smart predictions based on data. You need to have clean data, and you need to have the right systems driving, that kind of predictions, AI, to give you the right segments and the right mechanisms to communicate in a personalized fashion with your customers. That would require specific technology. So you need to empower your business with agile technology, with architecture that enables that business transformation. And while doing so, you also need to consider your own journeys. So think about journeys rather than like kind of rigid processes, legacy processes. Think about journeys, how you can engage your customer in a journey, how you can onboard them into a journey where you get like different multiple touch points, and you serve them in a different way depending on how things progress in that journey. And finally, you need to optimize the way you engage with them everywhere. So regardless on how they work with you, which channel they choose to communicate or to get in touch with you or to get your services from, you need to optimize the way we engage with them across them all. And in order to do that, you need to invest in your own people, in the employees that actually utilize these systems, that present your company in front of your customers, and make sure that they are equipped the way they should. So let's have a deeper dive on each of these, six areas or six pillars, starting with the engagement in real time. Again, the just-in-time communications is one of the key and main kind of expectations for today's customers. They are, they are expecting when they, for example, when they place an order um, on your commerce website, they're expecting you to get a notification in the coming, few seconds to confirm their order. It's like, yes, thank you for placing this order, and these are the details of your order, etc., etc. They're expecting that message to arrive in few seconds after they place the order, not in few hours, and definitely not on the next day. They're expecting that communication to happen in real time or near real time. um, Again, you don't need to wait for things to happen to like to start communicating about something. Don't wait for a trouble to happen to start a communication with your customers. For example, some businesses have the means to get readings from specific install-based machines. That will let them know, for example, that this machine requires a maintenance, will require a maintenance in the coming 2 months, will require, a spare part in the coming 2 weeks, will require, that kind of annual maintenance event soon. They have the means to get, these readings from, the different install-based machines that they have sold to their clients. So in that case, don't wait until a trouble happens to start communicating with your customers. Use the data that you are getting, use the things that you have invested in, and start an early conversation with your customer. Create that scheduled maintenance visit. Place an order for that spare part. Communicate earlier with your clients to inform them, what is happening and what is expected to happen. Start that conversation earlier and be proactive. That will also give your customer the feeling that you are connected with them. You are working with them. Uh, in some sort of partnership, rather than you're a service provider, product provider, you sold them something and that's it. There's no relations after that. You need to continue that relationship with them, continue engaging with them, so that you have uh, the best kind of two-way communication actually with them. Next is that when you are communicating with them, you have to make your message personalized. So, when you're sending them that confirmation email for the order that they placed on your commerce website, don't use things like, dear customer. That is not acceptable. Dear Tameem Bahri is also equally not acceptable. What is expected from today's customers, that they're expecting to get that personalized message plus some additional information that can that they feel it's tailor made for them. So you're obviously gonna use their names and the titles, etc., that you captured in your email. But you also need to think of how can you embed some meaningful data, some meaningful information in your email, in your communication with them, that will make them feel that you care, you know them, and you're willing to help them. So think of the example again when you are placing an order on a commerce website. You receive the email, thank you for placing this order, Mr. or Mrs. And you can use the names. And then you at the bottom of the email you can also share a different message, like people who bought this product are also also bought these other products, or people who bought this product showed interest in these other products. So that kind of message also shows them that the possibilities that they have, shows them that you care and that you know, and you have the right mechanism. You're giving them an added value on top of their standard expected service. The standard expected service that they're expecting that confirmation email to land in their inbox in a matter of a few seconds, as I mentioned, real time. And it has like the information, and the tone and the message. It has to contain information about them. Again, that is the standard expectations from them. On top of that, the added value is that you are communicating something additional with them, additional products that might actually be useful to them. He or she bought like this nice t-shirt. Well, you can also communicate to them that this t-shirt goes nicely with these pair of trousers, um, or these shoes. This kind of communication is a value added that is personalized for them, and it also adds value to them, and it makes your the whole communication feel more close to them. It shows that you care. Now, obviously, in order to send these kind of emails, you need that smart prediction, that ability to predict what is the next best product for your customer, what actually fits with what kind of, what is what are the products that people would likely be interested in if they bought, a certain product. Or, for example, what customers in a specific region are likely to prefer at a specific period of time. That whole, like predictability or prediction is something that, in order to, you need to deliver this personalized message in your communication. And in order to have it, you need the right systems to empower your experience. But again, think of the possibilities that you have here. You can send emails or notifications or communications based on specific time, based on knowledge that you have on specific time. For example, you know that people are more likely to open your email during their lunchtime. Or, for example, in Tunisia, we have Ramadan, and people tend to do certain activities after iftar or before iftar. You can tailor your message, and you can choose the right time to send the message so that you guarantee it will be opened by like the most possible number of customers, instead of just send mass kind of communication, mass kind of emails without that plan. Imagine that you're sending that promotional email to someone at 3 a.m. They are possibly asleep, and like your promotion landed on their inbox. After that, they went to work the next day, and they had newer emails coming into their inbox. Your email is now at the bottom of their inbox. It's likely that they will not open it today, perhaps never. Perhaps they're gonna just simply delete it after a while. So again, timing, the predicting the right time to send the message is very important. Predicting what would be a valuable message to send to your customer is equally important. And like in order to have that, you need that 360 view of your customer. You need to have that full view of your customer. And that is only possible if you have the right systems, which takes us to the next step, or the next point, which is that you need to empower your business with agile, lean, and integrated technology. That 360 view is not something, it's not as simple as it sounds. It requires, integrated systems in real time. It requires robust and scalable connections. You don't want that whole, perfect strategy that you have created to crumble down because one or two of these systems are struggling with performance, struggling with scalability. You want everything to continue running, scale up, scale down, depending on traffic, depending on different factors, and you want it to continue to run, in a smooth fashion. In my experience, a lot of the enterprises, particularly bigger enterprises, struggled, particularly because of the legacy systems and legacy applications. They wanted to, like move to a more digital kind of companies, or more kind of digital services. They had a clear plan for their digital transformation. However, they struggled to get there, and some even, like had to abandon some plans, and rethink of the whole thing altogether because of the existence of some legacy systems or semi-legacy systems, or even recently acquired systems which doesn't fit the bill. So because of that, they struggled. The systems are not agile enough. They're not lean enough. They're not designed to answer the today's, demand on the rapid kind of change, rapid kind of innovation, rapid kind of services. And because of that, eventually technology became a barrier for business. Technology should be an enabler for business. It should enable them to move forward, to move, in the right pace, to attack the market in a better way, to, like retain their customers, to think of, innovative ways where they can deliver their services. And again, due to some poor selections of technology, it might actually serve the opposite. It might become a barrier for the, like the rapid, or the, like quick digital transformation that a company would like to have. Again, having the right landscape, let's say, or, like set of technologies used will enable you to have that 360 customer view, which will eventually enable you to have that data-driven decisions and journeys. If you have that right structure, then you can enable the data-driven decisions and journeys to your customers, which is ultimately what we're all after. This is actually going to be the fifth pillar. So again, think of, the journeys, think of modern journeys, modern experiences that you can offer to your customer. Look at what the others are doing in the market. Your competitors, leaders in the market, leaders even in other markets. You can learn from them. Yes, perhaps it's, like the journeys they're offering is not exactly what you want. It's not, doesn't 100% fit with your culture, with the message, with your positioning in the market, with what you want, with your with what you want your brand to be associated with your values. That's all fine. You can learn from them, not necessarily duplicate what they're doing. You can learn from them, and try to pick and choose, cherry pick whatever makes sense for you, and then like re-engineer, redesign your journeys based on that learning. You obviously need, once you have that, you obviously need to invest in the people who are going to be running all of these systems for you, which takes me to the next step. You need to optimize the way you engage with your clients everywhere. You need to invest in your people. You need to empower them and enable your employees to do their job. Give them the right tools to do it. Give them the right trainings to use these tools. um, Develop not only their technical skills, let's say, like how to use these systems, but also invest in developing their soft skills, how to write a better email, how to run a better demo, etc., etc. This will all make them feel that they are developing, you are investing in their future. They are becoming better and better with time, and this will all eventually and inevitably reflect to the way they work with your clients, the way they serve your customers. It will inevitably show back to your customers that, these are happy employees in this company, and they're trying to please me. They're trying to deliver the vision that the company has. Introduce a transparent and modern feedback where, both your customers and employees can share their feedback, and more importantly, make sure it's transparent. Make sure that you are communicating back that, yeah, I've received your feedback, and I care, and this is what I'm doing about it. Finally, just remember this message. The first dinar, doesn't prove much. The first dinar you get from your customers perhaps doesn't prove much. The second dinar you get from them does, because it shows that you have built that lasting relationship, you have built that loyalty. There is a chance now to upsell, to cross-sell. You have now the loyalty of that customer, and it's all because of the way you offer them your services and the way the endless possibilities that you can use that to grow your business. Thank you very much. I wish you a fantastic day and great luck. Thank you. Bye bye.